Kept you waiting, huh?
Hello, good morning, afternoon, or indeed good bloody well evening to episode 117 of the UK's #1 gaming podcast. This is the CrossCast, and we are part of the Cross Players, a team of mates dedicated to bringing you all of our educated opinions on the incredible games we play, the consoles we love, and the universe of news surrounding them all. And to get things started on today's show, I am joined by the gorgeous Alex and Ben. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi. Like what I did there, or just thought I'd keep it guessing?
No.
What's the
probably gorgeous.
what's the temp in Scotland? Has it reached 10 degrees today, or
Oh no, it's still been like mid-20s today. Oh,
mid-20s?
It's still in the 20s. Maybe not quite mid. It's not been anywhere near as warm as it has been, but it's still very warm.
I'm going to Glasgow in a couple of weeks.
You come to visit?
I'm coming to visit you. I'm going to come and see you. Say hello. Embarrass you. And then Ben, I'll be in London loads. I've got loads of London trips coming up. What's the heat there? What you looking?
I think it peaked at around 27 today, but it's definitely quite humid walking about outside all day.
Two things.
Nice,
Two things. Oh, voice broke. Two things I want to talk about. One, the Batman watch, and then two, the Peloton t-shirt. Talk me through the outfit choices. What you're wearing?
It's not a Batman watch.
Okay.
It's just a fitness tracker. Same one I always wear, and a Peloton t-shirt because
Looks very loose, that t-shirt, Ben.
Not big.
Looks
it's pretty loose.
That, mate.
I bought it big. Yeah, that's it really. There's your answers. Happy with that?
And
Fitness tracker. Okay, a bit more context on the fitness tracker.
Yeah, please.
I get Vitality, through work.
Okay.
So you can earn points
For the poor among us, that's the rich person's insurance for health, where you can get a free health tracker and it benefits you.
David Lloyd. No. So anyway, but the rich get richer because if you do a certain amount of steps every week, you can get a free cup of Cafe Nero coffee, or you can get a box of pods to put in your KitchenAid Nespresso machine.
I like it.
A KitchenAid Nespresso machine, not just your normal Nespresso machine. It's your KitchenAid Nespresso machine.
Alex usually onto it.
Add to the joke. So yeah, it's quite handy. Loads of perks. You get like free, free cinema tickets for you and your dependents. So if you hit a certain amount of steps, so it's worth keeping this Batman watch on just for that.
So if you walk like 3 miles, you're allowed to slap a small child in Newcastle. If you get to 10 miles, then you get stem cells, something like that. Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Good.
Stem cells. Yeah. Brilliant.
Those poor Geordie kids.
The poor Geordie kids. What were you all drinking in the spirit of Lewis not being here? Bless up, Lewis, wherever you are.
Hey.
I've got SodaStream Pepsi Max.
Of course you have. SodaStream Pepsi Max.
Well, I've got a bit of an experiment tonight, actually.
Stem cells.
Live on air, drink from the umbilical cord. No, I have got, thanks to Alex and his recommendations, I'm trying non-alcoholic IPA for the first time ever.
Shit.
So I've got a Beavertown Laser Crush alcohol-free IPA, and I've got one from M&S, own brand, but it's from Adnams Brewery, low alcohol pale ale.
Cool.
So yeah, I'll be updating you throughout the show.
Look forward to it.
What are the calories in those, Ben? I'm curious.
Do you know what? Probably just as bad as normal beer. Alex, you'll know more than.
Well, 138
No, I think they can be a little bit better.
Can they?
Yeah, usually they're 1 or 2, aren't they? Like Pepsi Max, some of them. So
No, they're a wee bit more, but they're not as many.
Yeah, well, that's a bonus, because the only reason I wanted to do it is because I realised, like, I only ever have, like, 1 or 2 of these, so I'm not, like, doing it to get that buzz of...
Not trying to get pissed
merry.
on the podcast.
It's just, like, I just like the sensation of it, and it's just, so I thought I'd give it a go. And, yeah, we'll see. Might taste like absolute cat's piss. Let's find out, shall we? Let's try I'm going to Beavertown. Let's try that.
He's diving in.
As he's sipping that, we're going to wait for his review. We have got a jam-packed show for you today. It's going to be a bit quicker than normal, bit quicker because there's only 3 of us, but loads to get through. If you'd like to support us, please give this podcast a review on the service you're using. Give us a like and a subscribe on YouTube, or head over to thecrossplayers.com for links to all of our content in Discord. Special big up, I think, to the YouTube, because these guys, you've been pushing out a lot more of VR. How's the VR thing going? You seem very enthused online. Seems to be a lot of VR news at the moment.
It's never ending, the VR news at the minute. It's games coming out of ears, which is a very nice problem to have, and most of them are very enjoyable, to be fair. So, yeah, plenty going on YouTube. Got quite a few big releases in the next 10 days, 2 weeks. So,
What can we get from the latest VR pod that came out 2-3 days ago?
We had a bit of a kind of deep dive on all the big announcements that have come out. Several, I forget how many games we went through, but just basically
a lot.
Took our temperature on each of those, and any that we were particularly interested in. And then we go on to Alex's review of Pixel Ripped 1978 towards the end of it. And we should, on the next episode, have a mystery guest as well, so look forward to that.
It's a VR headset that's become sentient and wants to speak.
That's it.
And they can go over to where to find those podcasts, Chaperoos.
If you search for Cross Button VR on your podcast app of choice.
See, normally we do all this at the end, but see, I'm just mixing it up. I'm just like experimenting a little bit. We can see whether or not, A/B testing. Some people might click on it now. Maybe we won't. Maybe people just ignore us like normal. You never know. You never know. You've
got your marketing hat on. I like that.
I am. I'm just thinking all the time. I'm on one at the moment. So if you are Starcraven mad as well, hit up patreon.com/crossplayers and contribute as little as £2 to help us produce, and you get entry into our batshit crazy WhatsApp group, which is batshit crazy at the moment. It is always popping off whenever we have a Nintendo Direct. I'm not going to talk about that yet.
Good.
Hold that thought, Alex. I know you really want to talk about it. What I'm going to talk about first, Final Fantasy XVI dropped today, and the reviews dropped earlier this week. The Guardian has given it 4 out of 5. Reviewer Melindy Hetfeld, also took note of the game's incredible spectacle and how it's realistic. Was that an SOS? Realistic tone and rounded heroes elevate an epic 40-hour story. Can one of you guys maybe pick up the rest just as I go and address the SOS that have been issued?
We'll be your rounded heroes. Yep.
Oh, thank you very much. Au revoir.
I don't have the list in front of me, Alex. Maybe you do. I can.
I don't either. But I mean, all the reviews were glowing.
Yes, they were. The thing that got me was I was watching Kind of Funny's review of it, and Tim Geddes was saying, this is the God of War 2018 moment for Final Fantasy. Basically, so this is he thinks this is like the shifting point, the bit where this goes really mainstream, really epic.
Like the rebirth, even though rebirth's the next game, isn't it? But this is the rebirth.
Yeah. So I'm over the moon. That comment in particular, all of the stuff has been extremely glowing, but there's a little way to encapsulate everything. I thought
because I think didn't he not also say like, this is the best Final Fantasy game that there's ever been, and potentially the best game that he's ever played or something. They went like totally batshit crazy and over the top on it.
Yeah,
like, he was pretty, very, very, very keen on it.
Yeah, a bit hyperbolic, but he doesn't seem to be an outlier in that. Like, definitely, it's getting kind of, what is it? I think OpenCritic it's sitting at 89 or a 90 now. Which is
I think it's just dropped to 89 because there are a few people that have given it a 3 out of 5. You do wonder if that's because maybe they're a bit Dan-like and like it's just not a Final Fantasy game, and you wonder if there is a little bit of that in there in the people that maybe haven't quite given it the reviews that the others have given it. But
yeah,
everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when I saw like an 8.5, I was like, that's still a good score, but it does feel like that is lower than the general consensus. But obviously I've got a vested interest because this is one of my fantasy critic picks. So I've been watching the scores intently, hoping that it sticks around that 90 mark. And
yeah, it seems to be staying there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a 4 out of 5 from Games Hub, it was 4 out of 5 from The Guardian, 4 out of 5 VG 24/7, 9 out of 10 from IGN, 9 out of 10 GameSpot. Eurogamer was one of the ones for 3 out of 5. So they said, while Final Fantasy XVI is perhaps the state of the art for real-time Final Fantasy combat, its dreary side quests and slight excess of world building leave me reluctant to fire up New Game Plus. All told, I still prefer the older Final Fantasies, which also trade in stories of heroes averting the apocalypse, but always place those heroes second to the party.
Yeah, so I wonder if you might be right then that maybe it's old Final Fantasy fans that maybe just don't want to let go of those old ways, because it does seem like this is a bit it's making some concessions towards certainly like a Western audience. Like it does feel like it's more tailored to us now. Like even the fact that I know that is his name Ben Starr, the lead voice actor.
Mm-hmm.
He's been doing the rounds of all the podcasts and YouTubers and stuff, and saying basically his voiceover was the template that they used for all of the dialogue, and then they went and did Japanese, Spanish, whatever versions based on all of his work. So he was like, so they've done it for a Western audience first, primarily, which is going to ruffle some feathers, I'm sure. And be interesting to see. I know Famitsu gave it 39 out of 40, but be interesting to see the general reception in Japan, whether they reject the fact that it's gone too, Americanized or European, whatever it might be, or whether they just go, oh, this is cool, like, because we like Game of Thrones, this has gone down that sort of road. But I can't wait to get stuck into it.
Same.
I'm very excited.
I think we've talked about it quite a few times that I've never managed to stick to a Final Fantasy game, but I genuinely do feel this is the one that I will, and probably because it is the least like a Final Fantasy game without putting too much of an emphasis on that. I think it does. That action combat sounds far more fun. Like the cinematics and everything that people are describing sound amazing. Like the bit that still puts me off is how much time I'm going to need to put into it. Like that most definitely puts me off. But I think once I get drawn in, I think it'll be fine. If it draws me in, I think it's not like I haven't played big games recently. Like Ragnarok took a fair chunk of time, not quite this level of time, but it was still well into the probably best part of 20 hours. I mean,
easily. Yeah. I think I've heard people say this is like more of a 55, 65 hour.
Yeah.
Which
I think the lowest I've heard the lowest I've heard anyone talking about it that said they finished it was about 45 hours.
Right.
So it's a summer game. It's a game for summer, not just for a week towards summer.
Be interesting to see, because I've been a lot more relaxed on sticking with games lately. Like I've not been I've not been sort of forcing myself through games like you and I both did last year. Be interested to see if this one sticks, because obviously, I mean, you didn't even start Tears of the Kingdom, but I dropped off. I mean, I think I'd put about 60 hours into it, something like that. Yeah. But I dropped off at that point and haven't really had an inclination to go back to it. But it was interesting to see if this compels me to just push through the whole thing. I think it might. I think I'm really in the mood for it. So obviously moods change in on an hourly basis, but
I think where we are probably it's probably quite a good game to play alongside the VR stuff that we've been playing, and not to turn this into a VR podcast, but I think it accompanies it quite well, because your VR experiences aren't really that big game, but you particularly in this weather, you don't want to have that headset on for too long, but half an hour in there could break this kind of thing up. And I also see myself making good use of remote play on my Steam Deck. I think this will play very nicely in that method. Yep.
And if I get a Project Q, I might fire this up on that. I have actually got the Razer Kishi out lately, just to we'll go into this and pick up and play. But yeah, I need to try and tinker with the PlayStation remote play a bit more, because it never, like, remote play from my Xbox to my phone is flawless, but PlayStation has never been that. And I've tried several different third-party apps as well as their own one, and nothing ever quite hits the same. So I need to.
Runs quite nicely on the Steam Deck. It does run quite nicely on the Steam Deck.
I'm not getting a Steam Deck, Alex.
No, that's fair.
Although I was looking at the the Asus Rogue.
Well, I think if they hadn't been out of stock, I would have potentially ended up buying one. If they went out of stock, and then it was probably just at the right time. So I've spent too much money now that I don't have enough money left in the fund to.
Surely not. Surely the well hasn't run dry.
The well hasn't run dry. It's just shy of what I would need to buy it. So that's just shy enough.
Let's pool our money together. Send it to me. Then I will play it, and then we can swap. You can then send me the Steam Deck, and then I can send you that back.
Right, okay.
That makes sense.
That sounds like a plan.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I reckon, because Dan's still not rejoined us yet, so he's obviously dealing with something important. I think you and I should jump into your favourite topic, Nintendo.
Yeah.
And their big direct that they had yesterday at time of recording. First off, have you watched or checked out much of it?
I watched it live and was live tweeting through the WhatsApp group without spoiling, unlike certain people, Laurie, who just comes in and spoils it all for everyone.
He's a menace. Absolute menace.
Absolute menace.
All right, so let me just reel off a few things for you and gauge your reaction. I mean, it started off with the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC. I'm assuming neither of us give a flying fuck about that.
No, absolutely not. I'm getting a bin.
This is going to be the quickest segment ever. What about, obviously we knew about Persona 5 Tactica, but what's your temperature on that one?
Do you know what I found really funny about this? And I think I did tweet this. I messaged this in the WhatsApp group as well. Like, the announcements for these kind of things usually come on a direct.
Mm-hmm.
I found it really strange for this direct to start out with a whole load of things that we'd already seen in the other showcase, which is just very unlike a direct. It just felt really weird. I mean, like, sure, that Persona 5 Tactica will do well. I mean, I can't see me playing it, but again, it's day one in Game Pass, so why would I play it in Switch?
Yeah, true. I think that, I mean, it was nice to see it again. I'm quite excited for it. Obviously, being a Persona 5 fan, you know, the only one of us who's finished it. And
I'm back. Thanks, Ben.
Oh, he's back. I didn't even notice.
Perfect timing.
Dan, we've literally just started talking about the direct. We've skipped past the Pokemon DLC. Neither of us care about that. I'm assuming you're not that arsed either. And we're talking about the Persona 5 Tactica.
Looks good, doesn't it?
That is an instant pickup for me.
Yeah. Are you tempted to Final Fantasy Critic Tactica? I think you've got.
It's crossed my mind.
One more pick as well. I've got one more pick.
Yeah. It's crucial, isn't it? That
really
final
will be.
pick. Yeah. It's crossed my mind. I'll say no more.
I think we should try and take Lewis down because he's going to run away with it. But
no, I'm going to get it when Starfield launches. Starfield's going to give me all the points.
Well, he's only 1 point ahead of me now.
Is he?
He's had one more game come out than you and I have had as well. So
okay, I'm not far behind you. Okay.
Well, now that Final Fantasy 16 is out, I think you're about 20 points behind now.
And I'm real lagging at the bottom. So
Alex, are you still in it? I don't know.
Just wait till all your counter picks hit, though.
Yeah,
I know. I'm so gutted I picked Alan Wake 2. I've been like Googling, can I cancel my counter pick? Is that possible?
You can't.
No.
The three of you have got terrible counter picks.
Yeah. No, we all. Yeah. You've got the smartest counter pick.
I'm still not chalking mine off because I still think day one, Starfield's not going to be the best it can be. It can't be.
Still going to do well.
It's still going to, yeah.
We'll see. It's still going to have bugs, and it's a Bethesda game.
It's not going to be Redfall.
So
no.
You never know.
No.
We can hope. We can but hope.
Okay. So yeah, Dan, we were literally just looking through the Eurogamer article that you put in the show notes down to Persona 5 Tactica. So I think the next one was Myth Force. Don't know if that caught either of you or I, but as someone that was raised on He-Man and Thundercats and Mask, this looked like something I could get into. It had that. I mean, it said in the trailer like Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, because it did buy the power of Grayskull or something at one point.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think this looks cool. I think this could be a dark horse.
Yeah, I think it's been on early access in PCs. I think this is it coming to consoles. I think it has been about for a bit. Yeah.
Was it like first person as well? It looked it from the trailer, but yeah, I thought I wasn't expecting it when the trailer first started. I assumed it was going to be like a third person sort of character action thing, but yeah, it looks first person. So.
Is it a team based game? It's hard to tell, isn't it?
It is hard to tell. Yeah.
Looks like it is.
Caught my eye.
I like the art style and that whole vibe of the Saturday morning cartoons is interesting. Definitely.
Splatoon 3 Splatfest.
Terrible choices of ice cream.
Awful.
Weird. Very strange. That colour of ice cream makes me feel a little bit sick. Not the cyan colour, like the vanilla-y kind of... Yeah, it makes me feel a little bit queasy, that colour.
I mean, I just feel like mint has no place
in
that trio.
Salted caramel or Dutch's Ledge. It should...
Exactly. Cookie
dough, exactly.
But then I guess the colour would be too similar to vanilla, and they can't do chocolate because it looks like poo.
You're both not picking actual ice cream flavours, you're just picking your favourite brand of Ben & Jerry's, basically. Or version of Ben & Jerry's.
How is salted caramel not an ice cream flavour? Everyone does a salted caramel ice cream.
Cookie dough's not just a Ben & Jerry's thing.
Yeah, you get Aldi cookie dough.
Well,
do you?
Yeah.
Showing your true colours there. Detective Pikachu Returns. Anyone?
Nah.
No. I like the movie, but
I thought
no interest in playing it.
Yeah, same.
Nope.
One of the big hitters, Super Mario RPG, is being remade.
I did laugh when I seen this. I don't know why. I just thought it was really funny that this is what they've chosen to remake.
It did feel very Nintendo, didn't it? As in, for that to be the thing. So, I don't know.
It's a beloved and important game historically as well.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that it's a Square / Nintendo joint is pretty cool. But yeah, I think that looked amazing. I really like the art style of it.
Yeah.
The glow up that it's got. Again, this is another one I'll be getting day one.
I've just had another message saying SOS 2, so just give me 2 seconds. You guys talk about Batman Arkham Trilogy. My opinion, that's very cool. I don't know how it will run on Switch, but we'll see. 1 sec. Sorry, guys.
Great. But before we move to Arkham, I suppose that was a little bit where you get like, oh, Mario fans, you've got this, and we're doing a Princess Peach game, and we are remaking Luigi's Mansion, and we're doing something else. They had a little bit of like all this stuff in one at that point, and you're like, all right, when you're doing that, like, why are you just telling us that you're doing this rather than... That was a bit odd.
So we got a release date for Mario RPG, didn't we?
Yeah, it was October. One's October and one's November, which we'll get to the other one.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was October.
The Peach one is that next... We didn't get a name for that, did we?
No, she just said she'd be in a game. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's next year. One was Dark Moon, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Did we get a date for that one?
No, it just said they were remaking it. That was it.
Right. Yeah. Weird.
That's very non-Nintendo. That's very not Nintendo-like.
It's strange to sort of just almost throw a bunch of shit at the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all of them are pretty cool announcements, though. Cool.
Yeah, but even
a Peach game.
Yeah, but show a wee bit more. Don't just show like a bit of... yeah, I don't know. It just felt a wee bit odd.
Yeah, and particularly, obviously, we're jumping around in the order, but I would have liked to have seen Luigi's Mansion 1 and 2, like we did eventually see with Pikmin 1 and 2 coming out. Like, that would have made sense to me, because then you'd have the whole trilogy on Switch. Why not?
Yeah, not just 2.
Do that. I mean, it's, they've made GameCube games look good on the Switch already. Why not include the original Luigi's Mansion? It's just a strange choice that with a bit of extra, or maybe they will. Look, the fact that they haven't.
Who knows? Yeah.
But
not like we get that many details there.
But it does go to show, like, the Switch library. I know, like, Nintendo's not always your cup of tea, but as a library, and they keep throwing stuff at even this late in its life cycle. And this does feel like a late generation Direct, particularly more than my hype levels were so low for this, and it exceeded them, I would say, but it was more quantity over quality. I think it was more like, we've got this and we've got this one and we've got these, and here's the new Pikmin game plus 2 of the old ones, and it was all a bit like
we're just firing all this at just to keep you amused and keep you busy, rather than here's like to blow you away.
Exactly, like we had this in the cupboard for a few years. Let's just wheel that out, try and get a bit more money.
It's very much like that, isn't it?
Yeah, but
not the same with the box. It's the same with that. Was one of the discussions we were having in WhatsApp group as well. Like the box art, like
my god,
certainly feel like they've been like phoned in.
I can't believe that's the official box art. Pikmin's bad, but the Mario RPG one, where it's just like the character renders on a white background.
I mean, unless that's not it yet, you never know.
Yeah,
hope not.
But I mean, yeah, it's odd. So Dan was going to move on to the Batman games. Now, it's hard to tell from that trailer, but my feeling is if you've got anything other than a Switch,
better place to play them.
There's definitely you can pick up. I think I got the trilogy for the PS4 version of the trilogy for I don't know, £13 or something like that.
Yeah, I paid I think about £12 or £13 in Xbox.
So
and this will probably be like 50. You like?
Yeah, well, I reckon it'll maybe 30,
maybe.
Yeah. But if you haven't got any other console, then I've heard they're
very, very, very good,
well-loved games.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, but I don't know. Not one I'll be pulling the trigger on.
Yeah.
Now,
Not as Gloomhaven, I wouldn't imagine. Or would it be?
I think I must have tuned out when that one came on. So I'm just watching the trailer now to refresh my memory.
The board game type game.
All sort of Dungeons and Dragons-y sort of thing. Is it a bit like Demio on the
potentially? I don't
PSVR 2. There you go. We've turned it back into that
again. You'd be better getting a PSVR 2 and playing Demio.
Absolutely.
I think that's much better.
Teach us how to play it. Yeah. So isn't this one that's been either out on
PC,
Steam,
I think.
Yeah, and got quite good reviews. So I don't know. Might be something worth looking into. I think we did get a press release on that, so I might even follow up and see what the deal is there.
Then we went on to Ben's favourite.
What one's that?
Just Dance.
Do you know what? I don't think we've got the last couple of them.
Thrown out of it. We're into VR now. It's all Beat Saber now, isn't it? Yeah.
So, exactly.
Synth Riders.
Yeah.
Better options out there, guys.
Yeah, and the boys are playing, Minecraft or Among Us now. They've moved on to not proper games, but
more proper games than
proper games than Just Dance. Yeah, shame really. It was a good time. Silent Hope.
I don't even remember this.
No. Again, I think there was a good chunk of this where I tuned out. Fae Farm.
Quite a bit of this, but yeah. No.
Manic Mechanics.
That looked kind of that looked alright. I mean, I'm sure they actually showed they showed Hot Wheels in this bit as well, and I thought this was an add-on to Hot Wheels, but it wasn't. It was just another game, and I thought this was a mini game within the Hot Wheels game, but it wasn't.
It's just a bit of an odd announcement in a Nintendo Direct as well to have Hot Wheels 2. I'm like, is that exciting for anyone? Well, I guess kids, but
in the first game,
watch Direct.
But yeah,
it was for about a week, and then everyone stopped talking about it. I don't know. Speaking of that, Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. I mean, that DLC, I lost interest in that.
Feels quick, doesn't it? Hello, everyone back. Yeah, it feels very quick. Yeah, very, very quick.
But
that has been a drastic failure, hasn't it? So Ubisoft have come out and said we should have listened to Nintendo and not had two of the same type of game on in the same console. Oh, yeah.
It'd been a great launch title for the next one, wouldn't it?
It would have been.
Got a lot more traction. But, Ubisoft, eh? What do they know? Just quickly to just update you on this Beavertown Laser Crush that I'm drinking. Yep. It is nice, but it doesn't taste much like IPA.
No. They always taste a little bit artificial.
Yeah, I'm not getting the same feeling that I would from an actual IPA. Like, it's a pleasant drink, but I could be drinking, like, a flat...
White?
I don't know. San Pellegrino or something. Oh, well.
So, have we talked about... So, we're up to date on Super Mario Rabbids. Next one, Dragon Quest Monsters. You spoke about that?
We have not touched that yet, no. That's the next one.
So, I haven't seen this trailer, so did it jump out? It's not really...
Nah.
No.
Not really. Alex and I were just saying there was a whole kind of like...
10 minutes
sagged in the middle for this, and this unfortunately landed in that. So I like
the tail end of it, wasn't it?
Yeah, but yeah,
it's out on the 1st of December, so something to look forward to for Dragon Quest fans for Christmas.
Put it in your fantasy critic, Alex.
Mine is full, unfortunately.
Full of shite.
It really is. Full to the brim. Full to the brim. Pikmin 4.
Pikmin.
Yeah, this is where it started getting interesting again, I think.
Demo released next week. HD releases of Pikmin 1 and 2 are also available right now digitally.
That's cool.
I thought it was good. I do need to play these games. Because it's...
Now, let's just judge them. Without
do you want to? All right, we do that with everything else.
Let's go to Tinykin.
No, true.
It looks fine. I mean, it's probably one of the prettier games on the Switch.
Yeah.
It's fine, but day one?
I don't know, because I've played, I think, the original Pikmin on the GameCube. I played that a bit. I've played a tiny bit of Pikmin 3 when that re-released on the Switch. They've never fully grabbed me. But I think that's like I don't know. I'd just like to try it, because I think like constantly evolving. Your tastes are constantly changing, whatever you're in the mood for. So if it catches me at the right time, then I might feel like, you know what, I fancy a bit of real-time strategy. I never really got into a real-time strategy game and try it out, but we'll see. I'm on the fence.
I'm a little bit jaded of the novelty of picking up consoles. I think it shows the Game Boy. I think it's an SP at some point, and all the Pikmin picking it up, and I think ever since, what is it, Astro Bot on the PlayStation 5?
Yeah.
Astrobot?
Yeah. Astro's Playroom.
Basically does that better than anything else has ever done it, and enough for me in terms of like nostalgia. I'm like, that's kind of lost, or it was meant to be impactful on the Pikmin trailer, but I kind of lost it. Plus the menus look shit as well. Like, I hate the font in them. It just looks really dated. So I don't know. Speaking of dated, Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 3, the Master Collection, are being released on Switch. Either of you interested?
I mean,
go on, Alex.
It's an interesting collection, and I think it was one of those, obviously this kind of got announced in the PlayStation Showcase, but no, there wasn't really details of it. It just said the original games would be coming, and now this is the announcement for it coming to everything. And I'm like, that's good, at least it's coming to everything, but I don't know, do you really want to play these games in this state? I'm not sure how well they're going to hold up.
No, it's one of them, like it looks like a really nicely put together collection with all like the guides and the instruction manuals and things like that, kind of like the Turtles one that came out last year. Or even that Atari. I know there was a bit more interactive elements to Atari 50, but I mean the actual games in that were dog shit. And I think it will be. I'm not saying that about Metal Gear, but I do think it will be greater than the sum of its parts, probably, because it will be, this is nicely presented for historians and for people who love that franchise, and for those of us that have never played it before.
Yeah.
But whether that's something that you're like, oh, I've just played Metal Gear 1. Oh, it's amazing. I find that hard to envisage.
Yeah.
I felt the same with that and Batman, where I was like, oh, that's amazing if it was year 2 of the Switch and not, what was it, year 6 now?
Yeah.
So you're like, that would have been amazing, but yeah, it just doesn't get me going. I think same as Vampire Survivors as well. Like, it's great that it's on something else handheld other than a Steam Deck, but you can get it on mobile, can't you?
Yeah.
Again, it's just the novelty of all of these kind of games coming to Switch have worn off a little bit, and being featured in a Direct, that worried me.
So I think Vampire Survivors, when I heard that, I was like, good, about time. Like, this is its natural home for it. But then I saw, and it's not that long to wait, but 17th of August, I was kind of hoping to log onto my Switch and see, great, I can download Vampire, and I would have got it, and I would have got it for my son who loves it as well.
Yeah.
But having to wait again, and like, when I told him about it, though, he was really excited, because normally he has to play on the Xbox, and nobody wants to.
I'm also not convinced how well it'll run on the Switch. And I know it's not that demanding a game, but the amount of stuff that goes on in the screens and stuff at time...
Nah, I'll be fine. Pixel in it.
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot popping off, but I can't imagine it be any issues.
No,
Quite
I'd be
surely.
very surprised.
Yeah, if that's like the criticism of it. But it's such a good game, and it is perfect for
it's brilliant.
a handheld. So I hope it will do well.
But you're right about the comment. You'd expect to see it released immediately. I was the same again with Batman. It was the same with Metal Gear. I was like, why is it going to take till autumn for those games to come out? It just seems a little bit silly, like as if to stack the deck with the games that really normally in a Direct they'd probably be like, I know, going to be available next week, and you can get a physical edition. Like, that seems to be the pull of those games, not you've got to wait for 4 months to play this. It was just a bit
But also very cool to see little old Vampire Survivors in a
totally,
not even
totally
like an indie showcase, in an actual Nintendo Direct. And like, this game that's just taken on a whole life of its own.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Headbangers Rhythm Royale. One for
Absolute
the kids.
highlight of the Direct.
One for the kids.
Dancing pigeons. I mean, who doesn't want a fucking dancing pigeon?
Does look good.
Laurie, actually, that's Crossbutton VR, the last one. Laurie talks about fucking a pigeon, doesn't he? Well,
I think so. He certainly had something to do with pigeon.
yeah, I tuned out, but I think that's what he admitted to.
I'm
just
sure
get
he
the
met him.
shotgun. We just plug it in and we just fuck these pigeons up. Is that a fox? It looks funny and it'll be interesting. It's got multiplayer elements as well. Looking at it, it's a battle royale.
Yeah, it was
game.
kind of team game. Seemed alright. Seemed really cool.
Yeah. So you miss a beat, you're out, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Penny's Big Breakaway is a new 3D platformer from the team behind Sonic Mania.
This looked pretty
Bright
cool.
worlds and a magical yo-yo. Out early next year. It did look nice. This looked very nice.
I think when it's got the kind of pedigree of that team, then it's worth your attention. I think so. Keep an eye on that one.
That's what elevated it, and it looked like it was like a cool little throwback sort of 3D platformer. I thought the presentation of it did, like even the UI and stuff reminded me of Sonic Mania a little bit. So I think, could be half decent, that one, I think.
Graphically, it looks great.
Yeah.
Because they've kept a very simple art style and it's very blocky. It looks good. So
Yeah. Almost reminded me of Tiny in a way as well.
Yeah.
More sort of simplified. But yeah, optimistic about that one.
Something else we needed more of. Booster Course, Pass Wave 5 for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
I mean,
It just,
Just let it be.
the highlight from that for me was, I think I predicted that Kamek would be one of the playable characters when we did that show, and it has been revealed. So
weren't excited to get a Wiggler.
One pipe for Ben.
we're all excited to get a Wiggler. Yeah, but we love Mario Kart 8 here, and no one in my family is asked when I go, "Oh, there's some new courses out." Everyone's like,
We'll play them when we play them, bad.
"Shut up, Dad."
Every single time. Star Ocean, the second story R, is going to arrive on Switch on the 2nd of November with a lovely looking retro art style, which I agree with. That looks a lovely, lovely game.
Looks
like
weird in that HD2, D3, D4D. Like, it's a very weird concept, but I guess it is quite cool. But
it's what I would want Final Fantasy IX to look like if they remade it. I think something mad like that would be great, where it keeps the same heart of the game. Basically, it's the same, but just with that art style. It's like, yeah, that works for me. But the main character's called Cloud. Hello, Cloud. Claude.
Claude.
But yeah, I think that looked pretty. Next one was WarioWare game is in development. I like to say that, don't I? In development. It's WarioWare Move It. I'll play this.
I thought this looked weird.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But did you play the last WarioWare game that came out on Switch?
No.
We did for like a night, and I think, but it was fun. But
It was
it's
a
just
good
like, yeah, there's no.
The novelty factor
There's
of
no
that kind of thing, I think, is gone now.
Yeah,
like,
a little bit.
It's had its time.
And it's just bizarre that they're throwing out this everybody 1-2 Switch,
Yeah.
and this as well. And it does again. It gets back. I can't remember if you were here or not when we were talking about that, Dan. But like, it is like they've got stuff that's just been sat gathering dust on the shelf, and they're going, put this fucking game
Get
out.
the WarioWare guys and girls. Get the Mario Party girls and guys. Make a game that just has those as the mini games, because that seems half of the mini
That's
games.
kind of what they've done a wee bit with this one, is it not?
Is that what it is?
Right,
okay.
There is. It's not purely like this, but they did show a little bit that almost had like a board game track. For
like it.
So there was, I mean, maybe not to the same extent, but it's maybe is a little bit of that idea in here. But it was this all feels more about like full body movement, and you're like, no.
Yeah,
No.
might be a bit hot. Especially this heat. Starts out on 3rd of November. Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
The
This is
saviour.
probably the highlight. I think most people would agree. This looked absolutely brilliant. So, what is the concept? Because I've watched this trailer a couple of times, and other than it just being a new 2D platformer, is there a quirk
It seems
to it?
like you need to find these wonder seeds. So, like when you go into what feels like another dimension, is it like another dimension? And it's a bit like then these wonder seeds just make everything go a bit mental, and you need to get through the mentalness to find the actual seed within the given amount of time.
You have to find the wonder seeds, then you have to go to a petrol station, get a packet of skins, and roll up the wonder seeds, and then Mario.
that's
and
it.
then the world just turns into this weird, trippy pipes moving around.
And you get your trunk.
Odd. Exactly. Yeah, turn into an elephant, and then you get the munchies, and then you go to sleep.
Whoever thought we'd see Elephant Mario? Like,
who could have possibly called it? Yeah.
The art style's stunning as well. I'm just watching it. And the
Although
little chubby Mario is funny.
It reminded me though of that new Sonic game. Like, see when it first came on, I feel like when you look at the new art style they've went with that Sonic Superstars or whatever it is, I felt like actually, it gave me that vibe straight away. I'm like, it's very like that.
Yeah, but it's a bit too new Super Mario Brothers for me. Like, I know they're never going to go crazy, but I do think it was when I first saw it, I was like, have they changed it? Okay, fair enough. They've changed it a bit from that new Super Mario Brothers style. But I'd love them to go like full Cuphead and just make it look completely different. Like, make it Mario, but just a completely different art style. It's just
make a new retro one.
Cool. It's just a little bit, I don't know, a bit safe. But look, that's nitpicking. It still looks fun as hell, doesn't it? So, you know,
it does look cool.
Well, I'll definitely get it. No question.
I think my son will love this. He will absolutely love this.
Yeah, it looks great. I think so. This is out on 20th of October as well.
Yep.
October
So I was wrong way round the other way earlier then, Ben. It must be November that RPGs out. I knew one of them was October and one of them was November.
One of them's got Birdo in it. I'm a big Birdo fan.
So you do like
that's the RPG bit.
I love a big Birdo.
What's the crack with this new hardware then? Is it happening anytime soon, or what's happening?
It's got to be next year.
Seems strange.
Surely. It just feels like it's going to be next year. I
may
think
or may
this
not.
Direct almost kind of, that's what we were saying earlier when you had that section. We were like, there's a Peach game in development, and we're remaking this game, and we'll maybe have this, and these are all we'll hear about them later. And you're like,
we've got some utter shite for next year, but don't worry, there'll be a new console coming out.
This is for all the mugs that still want to do a Nintendo podcast. Good luck to you. You're buying it all this tosh. You're getting 3 remakes towards autumn. That's the highlight of your winter. Highlight then, each of you, Alex?
It would be Super Mario Wonder. It's got to be for me.
Yes. I'd say the same. Ben, what are you going with?
I'd probably go RPG. I think that looks great, and never played it. One I've always wanted to play. Heard great things, so
We'll just say Mario.
yeah,
He was a highlight.
Mario was the big winner, but yeah, Wonder was a very close second.
Games with a winner. Games with a winner. That's the way it's saying it.
Gamers were the winners.
Just curious as well. We've had all of the big showcases now that we've had a direct.
Yeah.
Who won out of the three big boys?
Still Xbox.
By a
Easily.
country mile.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's nice, that, isn't it? It's nice for competition and to know that we're actually going to play something on it sometimes.
Yeah. They were the only ones that had to win, though, to be fair.
Yeah,
Like, there was-
they did.
the other two can pretty much cruise at the moment. I think Sony cruised a wee bit too much in hindsight. But, so they were definitely in a fairly distant third, I think. But, yeah, Xbox overall, definitely.
Do you think we'll see the consoles go down in price Black Friday this year?
Not if the Xbox is just going up price.
Go down to what it was like a week ago.
What do you think of that, Alex, in terms of...
I don't think it's surprising. I mean, we are probably closer to a lot of the stuff that's going on in the economy than a lot of people. So it genuinely, it does not surprise me at all that we're at this state. Like, the general economy, everything's getting more expensive, and you can see all companies should be sucking this up, but they can only suck it up for a certain extent, and all services are getting more expensive, everything's getting more expensive. Yeah, maybe does kind of make them eat their words a little bit. Oh, we're not doing this and we're not doing that, but sometimes your hands are tied, and it is what it is. And I'm not saying they should have done it. I'm not saying I'm happy they've done it, but I'm definitely not surprised it's happening.
It's Game Pass going up that's the real stinger, but again, it's inevitable. And if it's only going up by like £1,
It's £2 a month for Ultimate, I think it is.
right? That's not a massive difference to us, but as a company, an extra £2 for each customer is a massive thing. Guaranteed recurring revenue every month. So it's like, okay, we'll play the game.
Shareholders will be happy.
Exactly.
Very happy.
Well, they had an all-time high in their share price the other day, did they not?
They did, yeah. Which is an even better time to pump up.
Wow.
But
there you go. Buy shares. Everyone should just buy shares. Dan's been cancelled. Yeah, not today. Fucking hell. Definitely not today. Should we pick up and play? Lewis hasn't picked or played anything up. What a prick. Alex, what have you picked up? Should we show what we picked up? Oh, you can't.
I can't. Mine's just digital. Mine's all digital.
You've got your teeth done, got the hairline done, and you bought a game in Turkey, didn't you?
I did.
What was the game? What was the game?
We're full house here, but I picked up Final Fantasy XVI. I think I was going to say the first Final Fantasy I've ever bought, but it's not. It's the second, because I did buy 7 Remake and didn't like it. But yes, we have all picked up Final Fantasy XVI.
Shall I show you the steelbook again for people that are watching the video?
Let's have a look. Go over to youtube.com/thecrossplayers.
Sound like Nate then.
Get some sexy steel.
So the part I get really excited about with Final Fantasy, I love the logo, I love the font, and that made me feel very Final Fantasy.
Well, there we go. That's half the battle.
Ifrit, come to me. He's on the middle. Look at him. Big
There's
boy.
a disc.
Discs in the PS5 whirring away. Shall I open the cloth?
Oh, please do.
Wang wag.
For audio listeners, Dan is touching cloth.
Should we
Maybe.
Should we do the
Has been for a
ASMR?
while.
Oh yeah, it's out. Oh fucking hell, that smells chemically. Oh Jesus, that's vile.
Dan's now high.
Failed to sniff test.
So what's that? A cloth map of the continent that you get to run around.
Yeah.
That's
Very orange continent, isn't it? Very orange.
Looks alright.
It's nice. It's got a little tag on the back, which says Final Fantasy.
Do you think you will have that on display? Or does that depend on how much you love the game?
Even then, I wouldn't have it on display. I'd probably just have it in a... Oh, I've done that thing where cloth maps, you don't have to fold them, and I've fucked it up. Nah, I would not have it on display. Like I said, it's nice having the tap, but...
Yeah.
Why do we buy the tap? What's the steelbook I like?
I've stopped. I'm out of the tap game.
You're not. I'll wait for a game to come out, and then you'll be dragged back in.
If I didn't do it for Tears of the Kingdom, I'm not doing it for anything.
That's a good point.
And
that wasn't great tap, to be brutally honest.
It was awful tap. And
yeah, it was terrible.
I'm glad I
dodged that.
When about Mario tap will get?
Chode Mario.
Oh, it's got to be an elephant plushie, surely.
They'll 100% be an amiibo for that.
Yeah, elephant amiibo, yeah.
Yeah.
They'll sell like hot cakes.
Good call.
We'll buy 2.
Yep.
Why have you bought this game? Because I don't think neither of you were really happy about this. Neither was I. FOMO.
No, I've been hyped for it.
You have been
from day one. Like, this looks like the sort of game I would love. So I've been trying to get you around on it, Dan. Like, obviously you're going to buy it, but I want you to actually push through and play it.
I'm going to play it.
We'll do it together.
No, but like play it, not like play it like you and Andrew play games. Like play it.
Let's set up a little group then.
Let's do it.
In fact, we've already got about 50, so let's just play the game in the group that we've got.
Another group that's doomed to die within a week.
So Final Fantasy XVI's Metacritic is currently on 88.
Can we repurpose Tyler's Redfall group that you set up in Discord?
So Ben,
yeah,
there's one Final Fantasy game that's beaten 16 at the moment. Oh no, sorry, it's 3, but one's top. Final Fantasy 12 with a Metacritic of 92. Must play.
12.
Must play.
Well, there we go. That'll be next on my list if I
Do you
like
own
this
that,
one.
Ben?
Yeah, I've got it. I've got a copy of it actually. Yeah. Got my drink resting on it right now.
Interestingly, like on the on Metacritic, sorry, you probably might have gone through this before. 98 positive reviews, 8 mixed, 0 negative. That's rare. You usually get some contrarians on there, don't you, as well? So nice.
That's good. No, I'm excited to get stuck into it probably tomorrow now at this stage because I mean, let's face it, it's way past my bedtime as it is.
Yeah, I know the feeling. This time of year, it's weird, isn't it? One goes to bed earlier. Alex, I'm going to ask you first what you have played because we've all picked up the same thing.
Other than VR stuff, which I've played quite a lot of, which I'm not dwell on too much because we had VR time when you weren't here, Dan. So we, I've been playing Dordogne. I'm going to get this wrong again. Dordogne. Dordogne, I think it is. It's a little French name. So I've been playing that on Game Pass. Lovely little game. It's one of these. So you're a little girl called. Sorry.
Must need a fullback for Everton for a while.
At least it's not a place in Ireland. Right, so.
It probably is. Let's be honest.
But it's this nice little narrative game. You're this little girl called Mimi, and it's all set. It's like a watercolor. The whole art style. It's like this kind of watercolor, animated watercolor. And you're going to, like, as an adult, you're going to clear the house of your grandmother who's died, essentially, or you're going to kind of visit. That's the story, but you're then reliving your memories of the child as you're there and kind of unfurling almost like the family secrets to a certain extent. So it's all about your adventures in one summer when you stayed in Dordogne. It's really nice, short little game. I've been playing it in bed on the Steam Deck.
I thought it was a VR game then.
No. It's Game Pass game.
Scaring the shit out of your husband.
Yeah.
I do that anyway. That's
thrashing around next to him.
Just saying the name of the game.
Mimi, no!
So yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Yeah.
It is a place in France, by the way.
Yeah. That's where it's.
Oh, sorry.
French game, I think. So.
Yeah. It's the 3rd largest department of metropolitan France. They call their areas departments. Fucking hell. Nerds.
French.
Sorry to any French listeners. It's I like the look of it. It does look cool. I think I downloaded it this week actually. Put that as a next Game Pass jobby to check out.
Nice little game.
I'll give it a go.
Very cool.
Ben, gonna come to you.
Well, I'm glad you came to me next because speaking of Game Pass, obviously I haven't really touched my Xbox at all in 2023.
Oh,
that all changed with Diablo 4. I don't know how many hours I've put into Diablo 4, but I'm at like level 41 or 42 now.
That's 40.
When you went away and
hours.
left me, and like,
Well, yeah,
and I'm
you weren't
still
about,
like
mate.
from the
I remember like the last time we recorded, I went immediately on Diablo after it. I was like, 100 Ben's online, and I saw you online, and neither of us bothered to. I think I played it for like 5 minutes and went to bed anyway. So
yeah, there you go. I can't be
it's a headspace
dragging you around. But yeah, I haven't actually played that, but it did. And this little beautiful controller, the what's the game?
I really want one.
Starfield controller. That combined with Diablo has got me back into the Xbox ecosystem. And so I had a little look on Game Pass. I thought, right, there's a few games that people have recommended lately that I just haven't been bothered to check out because I haven't really wanted to fire up the Xbox, but now I'm back in it. So I played Planet of Lana.
Okay.
Start to finish. Absolutely loved that. Little puzzle platformer, very much in line with Inside or Little Nightmares, that sort of thing, but with a sort of brighter art style to it, basically. And yeah, really like that. I think there's a couple of little slightly annoying puzzles. I don't know, Alex, if you can remember, like the ones with musical notes that you had to sort of translate from like a code on the wall and then play them in order, and that was a bit like, this is kind of annoying. But the rest of it was all very sort of free flowing, didn't push back too much. So really like that one. Give that sort of a 4 out of 5. Definitely worth checking out on Game Pass. And then I was in the mood to take a suggestion of Alex's, and I played. I've started playing Citizen Sleeper, which was one of your favourites from last year.
That was probably my game of the year that year. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can definitely see why. So I started off playing it on Game Pass, and within about an hour of playing it on my phone via remote play, I was like, well, this text is far too small, so I should probably get this on the Switch. So I brought it on the Switch, and I've been playing it on that. I started off playing it on Switch Lite and thought, well, this text is far too small. I should probably play this on the OLED. So I'm now playing it on Switch OLED, and it is lovely, and it's such a game. It's such a hard game. I don't think I ever really understood what it was, and it's a hard one to describe. Mm-hmm. But the prose in it is also beautiful. And once you get your head around the survival, resource management side of it, and then how to progress the stories in every little drive, which is basically like a quest or a mission, has got like a timer associated with it. And then you wake up and you've got a certain amount of dice that you know, okay, I've got one dice that's a 1 and then another that's a 6, and you can basically see what the outcomes of those dice rolls are going to do to any different part of the world that you want to try and progress. It's quite a dense game, but it's lovely. It's got more of a... I would compare it to Disco Elysium, but without the sort of wandering about, pointing at everything aspect of it. It's much more palatable to me, and I like the look and the sound design and everything else is, really, really sort of speaks to me. So I'm hoping I can kind of dual wield this and Final Fantasy 16, because I would hate to not see this one through. Because
it's definitely worthwhile seeing it through.
Lovely.
Definitely.
I'm looking at the Citizen Sleeper review because I remember Alex talking about this, and it was on my wish list for a while on Steam. It still is, I think, because I've seen it come up on sale a couple of times. But it's got a Terry Pratchett quote in it from Men at Arms, and this was one of my favourite quotes. And I'm curious as to know why it is, without reading the full review. says a man who could afford $50 had a pair of boots that would still be keeping his feet dry in 10 years' time, while the poor man who could only afford cheap boots would have spent $100 on boots in the same time and would still have wet feet. Interesting. Yep. So it's all about management of your kind of
It is about, like, there's definitely a load of... It's trying to say a load of stuff, which... I almost don't want to like get into, but there's a lot of politics in the story, a lot of stuff about the poor people being oppressed by the people with power, and being sort of manipulated and things like that. And it's saying a lot. As I said, it's quite dense. That story is dense as well, and there's several little threads, but there's a lot of personality in it. There's one point where I was just chatting to a vending machine, a sentient vending machine, and it was hilarious. Like, some of the stuff that it was saying was genuinely like making me laugh out loud. And there's other really poignant bits as well. And
incredibly impactful.
Yeah,
I think the further you go on, the more impactful it will get. But it's a very impactful game.
Yeah, so
I will buy it. I will buy it. You've persuaded me. I like it.
I would say the second one's coming as well.
Yeah, I would say do what I did and check it out on Game Pass. And I think within an hour or two, you would know. Well, now I know what I'm doing. I think I'd be happy getting it on another platform and then starting from scratch. Because that was the thing. I was quite happy to play it on Game Pass, because to start with, I was a bit like, I don't really understand this. But as soon as it clicks, you're like, yeah, this is an absolute banger. And yeah, Alex, you were right.
There's a second
Not
one
often,
coming, isn't there?
but
it happens. It happens.
Sometimes.
Oh, sorry, I said there's a second one coming as well, isn't there?
Yeah, Citizen Sleeper 2 was announced a couple of weeks ago. Maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago.
So the Citizen Sleeper 1 is £10.5 at the moment on Steam, and it's a special promotion down from £16. So might have a look at that. Add to cart.
Lovely bedtime game as well. Like really.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. When I first started playing it, I did fall asleep just listening to like there wasn't even any music playing. It was just ambient noise in the background and distant sort of industrial clanking, and it's really nice. Love it.
The Average Joe Games, where I said that quote from, the first sentence paragraph thing says, the best sci-fi in any medium are those that immerse us in another world whilst shining a light on our own reality. Citizen Sleeper then is among the best. Cool.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Awesome. Either of you any more before I talk about Zelda?
That's it from me.
That's it for me.
So I tried to play Diablo a little bit, but then got wrapped up in work. The difference is, with Zelda on the Switch and on the OLED, whilst yes, I've been wrapped up in work and I've still got a train commute, and normally I'll work on that train, I was like, no, I'm going to play Zelda. And the pull to play that game, even when I'm in like work mode, is completely, it's been a breath of fresh air. And just helped me through like a difficult patch with work of just like trying to get my head out something for like maybe even just 45 minutes while I'm on the train. So I'm only up to the second area. I've gone to I always forget the fucking names of them, the fish people. You gone on mute?
Zora.
Fish people. The Zora.
Zora's domain. Yep.
So I'm doing the Zora's domain and the quest around there at the moment, but that's only my second main area. So I've just been wandering and finding shrines and just getting completely captivated by mad shit in the sky that's like rotating round, and you're just floating into it, and then seeing something else in the distance, getting drawn into that. It's just so like it's past the point of fun. There's nothing hyperbole aside, like there's nothing I can really say to describe the game, and at the same point I'll probably stop playing it now for 2-3 weeks while I play Final Fantasy at home, because it's making me want to play other games again, like Breath of the Wild did, which is the entire reason I started a fucking podcast. So I'm really enjoying it. It's just very, very nice, very familiar, but at the same point just doing enough different to be compelling and keep me captivated. Have you actually played it yet, Alex, or you still got it?
No, it's still sitting on this desk and has never...
I think you'll
was
play
funny
that before
I was joking the other day.
Yeah.
I was joking, was it Mark in Discord the other day? He's like, has your Switch started asking you if you're still alive yet? Because like, I genuinely don't know if my Switch has been switched on this year.
Okay. switch on just to be on safe side because there's been a couple of reports of the battery
No, it's
going dead.
set in like so it's like live, and so it has been switched on because I think I maybe used it when.
Why are you lying then?
No, I remembered I took it to Barcelona. I just remembered I took it to Barcelona. So it's like, yeah.
Stop fibbing then. Stop lying.
I forgot about that because I'm not sure I actually used it, but I switched on to know it was updated to go, but I don't think I played it. But yeah.
It's fun. And I think you said it, Ben, like you're quite happy not to play it for a little while. You're in a kind of similar place where it's like, yeah, it's there. I'll play it when I get to it. But
yeah.
It's nice.
No, it's good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear you are sort of sticking at it as and when you want to dabble in that world. Because it is more... Yeah, I think I will at some point just get the inclination to just go and do a couple of shrines again. Because that was what I was enjoying. The bit that stopped me was like, well, I'm in this area where I know this is like the second dungeon bit that I could do. I just don't want to do that. I like being out in the world and doing all this other shit. So,
I know what you mean.
Said to Alex earlier, I think I played it maybe 60 hours and just done one dungeon, and the rest of it has just been going about, doing bits.
Can turn me off a little bit, the mainline story and stuff like that too. And what was I always forget the name of the game. My memory's terrible, but it's because I'm tired. The 70s themed arcane game.
Oh, Deathloop.
Yeah. So like it jumped into my head when I was playing it the other day, thinking it's quite similar because the way that Deathloop was, you just for non-video watchers, Ben's just tasted. I think it's where do you say it was from?
This
M&S?
is the M&S low alcohol
brand
pale ale.
Yeah,
malty and aromatic. Yeah, I'll give it that.
Pulled the face like a toddler when they've eaten a lemon for the first time.
Oh, that's a shame. This is from Adnams Brewery, which is just 5 minutes down the road from where I grew up.
God's sake.
Yeah, that's not pleasant at all.
Oh dear, poor guys. But yeah, I mean, I compared it to that game, Deathloop, just because it's like Deathloop was fun while you were experimenting with it, but the experimentation sometimes put me off actually then progressing through it, and kind of fell off it for that reason. Where I was like, okay, I'm kind of done now with the mechanics of this and like whatever there is to kind of experiment with. I'd rather just mainline it, and the story wasn't that interesting, so I was like, okay. And it's another Zelda story. There's no airs or graces about it. It's nothing too interesting. It's, you need to go to find Ganondorf and beat him. So
it's an odd one with these like free-form games. They don't. It's almost like I need some sort of line that's just pulling me through the whole time. So like absolutely blasted through Ragnarok because it was just a fucking story. I was on board. I was loving it. I hope everything that I've heard, Final Fantasy 16 should be the same. But because Zelda just gives you that freedom of go out in the world, and the story to me isn't that big of a deal. You could say the same with Horizon. You could just go out and do everything in Horizon. But I really enjoyed that story, so I wanted to find out what was next, and maybe I'll do a little bit of wandering about, as I'm going about my story progression. But Zelda is Tears of the Kingdom is the other way around. It's like the fun bit is all the bits in between, but at some point you do have to progress the story, and I just haven't felt compelled to do that yet.
It's weird, the games like the big open world games that actually grip you in certain ways, because Laurie obviously like Cyberpunk being one of his was his game of all time, isn't it? But I laugh about it. But then like Far Cry 5 for me, I loved that game. That was just for some reason that kind of like redneck outback world really, really appealed to me, and just the story in it was like, oh, this is absolutely great. So I can get it. I can get when something just grips you. And Horizon story wasn't particularly interesting to me, and I think that's probably why I'm not as interested in the follow up. But I can see why it hit home, and I can see why Cyberpunk hit home. It's funny the things that actually grip people. But yeah, Zelda's good. Go figure. It's definitely not in my top 5 games of all time at this point, though. Interestingly.
No, I would agree. I definitely wouldn't replace... I wouldn't swap out Breath of the Wild either.
No, not
That's the strange
game.
Yeah, but it's far less important game, far less impactful.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly.
That's half the battle.
Yeah. That's us, chaps. We've got through a podcast.
We have done it again.
It
keeps happening.
I was only here for 65%. We've done 117 of these bloody things, so I just feel I need to attend most of them because I know what Lewis is like at the end of the year. He'll remind me of all the ones that we missed. Yeah.
You do a roll call.
Yeah, he basically does call everyone out, and then the person who won gets to play with the parachute a little bit longer than the other kids. So what else are you guys? Are you going to switch Final Fantasy 16 on now? Or are you going to go to bed? Ben said you're going to go to bed, aren't you?
I don't know. I've got a new lease of life, I think. That,
yeah, I have a bit.
That non-alcoholic drink is working me up. My body is rejecting it and telling me I can't go to sleep because I'm poisoning myself.
It's middle-aged Red Bull. One episode, Red Bull's middle-aged Red Bull. Alex, when are you going to jump into it? Are you going to give it a bit of time again? Keep it in cellophane?
No. How can I keep the digital copy in itself? It is installed and ready to go. So I think I'll start it at the weekend. I can't see me getting to it tomorrow unless I take the afternoon off, which I'm toying with. So.
Is that an option? Just go, do you know what? I don't feel like working.
Yeah, I do have plenty of days that I need, and my diary's quite clear tomorrow, so I was thinking about it.
You've had a bit of attitude this week, Alex, I've noticed, just in the WhatsApp group. Have you been onto it, by the way?
Have I?
Is that... Yeah, because I'll be asking, where was it? I need to find it because it made me laugh. Yeah, I found it. So basically I was asking really obvious questions about the direct, because I think I said, we should record the direct again like we've done with all the other things. And I said, we're watching the direct tonight, popcorn emoji. Bearing in mind, I told you guys that I've been stupidly busy with work.
Yeah.
Alex, passive aggressive, with a question mark at the end. Isn't it mid-afternoon? Do you know what I mean? He fucking knows. He knows
full well it's 3 p.m. sharp.
Yeah, he's not got the haggis to turn around and go I fucking know that. But anyway, and I said, fuck off, is it? Shows how much attention I've given it. And then, again, with a question mark at the end, 3 p.m, I think. Attitude?
Is that him being arsey or just pretending not to care about Nintendo? It's hard to tell.
Yeah, a little bit of both. Yeah, he's not got it
Who knows?
on his phone as a little reminder at 2:55 just to switch on and watch it. But yeah, attitude from Alex. I don't know what's going on. Need to get HR involved.
VR, get that
it's
VR
my new
involved.
release of life.
HVR. HVR. Okay, so you chaps are recording tomorrow, are you, for your VR podcast?
Yeah.
And that's out on what day?
Tuesday.
Oh, on Tuesday. What episode number is that now?
18.
18. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Flying. Absolutely flying. And they just need to go onto the streaming service of their choice or youtube.com/thecrossplayers and put in cross button VR and it will come up. Correct?
Yep. We've got a lovely little playlist there on youtube.com/thecrossplayers. It's got all of the episodes in chronological order. And get a lot of comments on there. So if you come along, drop us a comment, let us know what you think. It all helps.
Still giving
If you're
away
looking for a... Sorry?
Yeah, go on, Alex. You go.
See if you're looking for a little friend to play C-Smash VRS, which is the new release of this week, then jump into our Discord, crossplayers.com/Discord.
That's right.
Find
Alex
some friends.
Prostituting himself on games. Yeah. So get in touch if anybody wants a little
I've
friend.
got my paddle already.
Wow. Fuck it hell.
Oh, yeah. I don't bite. All
Unless
right.
you ask.
Unless you really will. But yeah, if you pay for it, maybe. Draw blood. I'm going to bed. Alex, it's been a pleasure, mate. Love you to
Always.
bits. Ben, love you. Have a wonderful Friday. Enjoy your podcast recording tomorrow night as well.
Will do. He says through
very
gritted
official.
teeth. Don't invite me when you...
No fucking
VR pricks.
Just because I don't want to buy one. The FOMO that I get from not buying one of those fucking VR headsets is just kicking me in the arse. But I get a bonus at the end of this month, so maybe. We'll see.
We'll get you.
Persuade the missus. You'll get me over. It's fine. Right, good night. Thank you for listening. Au revoir.